Hi, welcome to the channel. This is Moyna Bass Fishers. I am Jim Moyna, professional bass fisherman. In this video, we're going to talk about my third day of practice here at Lake Okoboji in Iowa. This would be for the 2024 Champions Tour, which it would be this the first event for the season. So, how did it go today? Well, not very good. I think everything I fished today, I'm probably not going to fish in the tournament. So that's the story there. After, the previous 2 days catching some fish, not a ton of fish, but catching fish anyways, today was a complete turnaround and kind of I won't say disaster, because the good news, now we're trying to be positive here. The good news is I now know where not to fish, okay? I know where not to fish. I know what lures to that aren't going to work. So that is the good news there. But on the other hand, I still got to find some more fish. I've got some fish located, but really I need to, let me explain this. With the Champions Tour, it's a catch-all-you-can format, meaning each pro in this tournament is partnered with a marshal who's got a scale. So when you catch a fish, the marshal weighs it on the scale, the weight's recorded, the fish is released right where it was caught. So that way you can catch as many fish as you can and they all count. But the unique thing that the Champions Tour does with this format is it divides the fishery in half. So you have to catch fish on each half. One half will be the morning session for 4 hours. The other half will be the afternoon session for 4 hours, for a total of 8 hours of fishing. But you have to have fish in both halves, and they don't tell you how they're going to split it until the tournament meeting, and then by then your practice is done. So you have to find fish in multiple places throughout the base, throughout the fishery. And because you don't know how they're going to cut it in half, you want to be prepared to have fish in multiple places. So that's kind of what I was doing today. It was just trying to expand out, get some fish in some other areas, and it sure did not work out very well. So, but I got to do it again tomorrow. I got to keep looking around and trying some other places and other areas, and just see if we can't get back on some fish, because right now I really don't have enough places to catch enough fish really to contend. So, but we got a day and a half left of practice. We got tomorrow, which is Sunday. We got Monday, a little over half a day Monday before we have to come off the water for tournament registration. And then the tournament, it's a one-day tournament on Tuesday. One thing I'll say, here's a little tip for you guys. How many of you have caught a fish that is blind in one eye or both eyes? Well, one of the few keepers I caught today was such a fish. And I just want to say this about fish that are blind in one eye. I typically think those fish are kind of rogue fish. They don't really fall into any pattern. So when you catch one of these blind fish, don't put all your eggs into that pattern that caught that blind fish. because I think they're just rogue fish. They're just lost. They're lost, even though they got one eye, maybe that they can see out of. They just, those fish just seem lost, and they seem out of place when you do catch them. And you can never, I can never duplicate a blind, a one-eyed fish a pattern. Does that make sense? So it's just, I never can duplicate it. So if I catch, let's say I catch the blind, the one-eyed fish off of um, off of a lily pad. Well, then I go and fish other lily pads and I never catch nothing. Not, I don't think there are lily pads out here. I don't know, but that's just an example. So, so that's just a little tip on those one-eyed blind fish. They just don't put too much credibility or too much importance on what that fish was doing, how it was caught, because they are lost. The other thing I got to say about this lake is, well, I've already said a few things in yesterday's video, but let me just reemphasize. If you like to have a good time and enjoy adult beverages and enjoy the sunshine, I mean, this is the place for that. There's multiple restaurants on this lake. They were really busy. Music jamming on some of them. So, if you like to have just a good adult time, that can be had here on this lake, for sure. But it does make the fishing challenging, because when you got a nice weekend day like today, they come out in droves. I mean, they are out there, and there are a lot of big, like, wake boat type boats out here. So here, oh yeah, I mean, you are constantly battling that. So today was particularly challenging because for a while it was windy, so I'm dealing with that. I'm trying to fish some boat docks, and then you just got these enormous freaking waves washing up on you too. So it was really challenging trying to put the bait where you want it to go around the dock, and and trying not to throw it in places where it's going to get hung up instantly, and trying to keep the boat off, from banging into the dock. So it was like high level dock fishing today, high level. But I really didn't produce a whole lot. So it might sometimes, that's not the only thing I did today. I just did it for a while, but I didn't see it producing. It could be the stretch. I'm not. I mean, there's tons of docks out here, and I've only fished like 2%, if that. So, I mean, there could be a dock out here that's got like 15 fish under it. Seriously, that's what can happen on a lake like this, or any lake with docks. Sometimes it's like one magic dock has a bunch of fish, and I could totally see that out here, because they must not pull these docks out for winter time, where, like in Minnesota, because our ice gets so thick that we have to pull our docks out, otherwise the ice will just freaking wreak havoc on the docks. So anybody that leaves a dock in Minnesota, especially northern Minnesota, I mean, that dock's gonna be obliterated by the ice, and it's when the ice comes off in the spring, it starts shifting around, and it can be a bad deal for a dock. But here, a lot of these look like they're permanent, which kind of surprises me, because I didn't think we were that far south enough to where, I mean, I would think the ice would still get thick enough here that it would be problematic for any docks left in the water, but I don't know. I've never ice fished here. And so I don't really know. Speaking of ice fishing, this must be a popular ice fishing lake. Um, and the reason why I say that is because a lot of ice fishermen like to go for bluegills and crappies, and my gosh, there are bluegills out here, like unbelievable numbers of bluegill out here. In fact, I wonder if that's what's a limiting factor to the bass numbers. Because if you got so many bluegills, then the bass fry have a hard time surviving when there's every time they turn around, there's another bluegill staring right at them. So, I mean, there's decent numbers of largemouth out here and some smallmouth, but I'm just saying, it seems like, uh, I mean, it's not like a huge number of bass. It could be, I mean, I could easily see it being more, but like I said, I don't know if it's it must be the high number of bluegills, just maybe it's just controlling the number of bass fry that grow to adulthood or something. I don't know. And there's a lot of white bass too, of course. And there's walleye, and there's sheephead, and there's muskie, and there's northern pike, and crappies, and every one of those fish I just named, I've caught since I've been here. I haven't caught a catfish. I don't know if there's catfish out here or not. Um, Certainly some bullhead, I gotta believe. All right, well, that's it for today's video. Um, it's today's practice session. It was positive in that I figured out what not to do, but it still leaves me in search mode in trying to nail down something else to, in conjunction. I already got a little something, but I need more. That's what tomorrow and the next day are all about. So, hey, thanks for watching, and over.